When you're looking for a new home or maybe even a new city to live in, what are you looking for? Is it close to a good school? Where can I walk my dog? Do the neighbors seem nice? But what about safety? Today, we're talking about the state of safety in America. And our next guest is part of a group that spoke to 15,000 Americans to find out how safe they feel in their community. Rebecca Edwards is an accomplished journalist, blogger, and she's the lead safety reporter for Safewise, specializing in home and community safety. So, first of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I'm excited to dig into the info.
Yeah, so what is the Safewise State of Safety report?
Well, Safewise is an online resource that helps people make their lives safer, whether it's at home or in the community. And we also follow crime trends and that impact on community safety and how safe you feel every day. So the State of Safety report is a way for us to gain insight into people's attitudes and perceptions about crime and safety. And we wanted to know, do we feel as safe as we really are, or are we more worried than we should be?
That makes a lot of sense. What are people most worried about in our state?
Yes, in Kentucky, property crime is top of mind. And that is the number one thing that people feel is most likely to happen to them. And it's slightly different from what people are worried about on the national stage, which is package theft specifically is the top crime concern across the board. But property crime, which usually it's burglaries and break-ins that people are concerned about, that's what's top of mind in Kentucky.
So I'm genuinely asking this question because I've tried to think through it many times and I still can't decide where I land. Are people's perceptions about safety usually align with real crime statistics?
In my experience of what we've seen for the past 3 years is that in general, they are not. We typically tend to be more worried than we actually need to be. And Kentucky is a great example of that. Across the board, Kentucky has higher than average concern about almost every single issue that we asked about. However, Kentucky has low crime rates, lower than what's going on in the national averages, and experience with crime is lower than the average as well. And so there's that disconnect. There's often a
Yeah.
gulf. There's a reason that we feel more stressed out than we need to be. And when you look at the real numbers, it's good to know it's not as bad as it feels.
Yeah, that does feel good to hear. How does violent crime, gun violence, and property crime figure into your report?
We've asked about violent crime and property crime all 3 years of the study so far. And that's because those are easy to correlate to actual crime stats that are happening. So we can gauge that, get that thermometer on whether perception is meeting reality or not. But in spontaneous answers from people about what's, like keeping them up at night, mass shootings and gun violence in general has come up more and more often in the past 2 years. So we've added that layer to our report. And what we want to find out is how much is that taking up in our mind, our headspace, and what might be the things that are exaggerating or validating that fear.
Yeah. Are there any tips that you might be able to give people that might help them feel safer in their homes?
Yeah, the best thing to do is to take advantage of the easy things that are already available to you to help you feel more safe. Taking control of things like lock the doors, lock the windows, lock up your car. Burglars walk through open doors all the time. So doing these little things are going to make us feel more reassured when it comes to inundating ourselves with news or social media input, doom scrolling, as we call it. Limiting that and taking some control over the information that we're receiving can also calm down some of those anxieties and fears. And obviously be as proactive as possible. Add a security camera with two-way talk and scare away those porch pirates, or a monitored security system. I always think it's the most proactive you can be because you actually have a third party looking out for you, your home, and your family members, and they can call for help even if you're not there.
You're definitely right about that two-way talk camera. That I feel so much at ease knowing I have that layer of protection and ability to communicate with anyone that shows up on my property. Lastly, Rebecca, where can people go for more information?
Yeah, go to safewise.com. You can download the entire State of Safety report, see how Kentucky lines up with the rest of the nation, and even find out the safest cities in the state.